in the beginning.
हाँ,
But Shahid had
और his
Pankaj
sister.
Kapoor.
Pankaj Kapoor. Yeah. Not his.
Ishanta
हाँ.
doesn't have that Pankaj Kapoor backing. No?
But he has Neelima Azim backing. Let's talk about the women.
Yeah.
Okay, okay then.
हाँ यार, फिर मर्द दिख रहे हैं दोनों में, मैं यहाँ
Well
पे।
earned points. Well earned points.
Nice.
थोड़ा ना just broaden your horizons a little bit.
I know
हाँ?
we're too
Look
narrow-minded.
beyond
yeah.
the men of this industry a little bit.
So-
What is the greatest
हाँ.
nepo that you can have in the Indian film industry?
हेलो भाइयों, कोई अगर फ्यूचर में स्ट्रीम देख रहा है तो उसको बता दूं, पता है मेरे साथ बहुत बुरा हो गया। मैंने एक यूट्यूब वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करी थी, वो एलन चौधरी वीडियोस डालता है ना, वो वाली क्या कहते हैं, कौन सी वाली डालता है भाई वो, अबे अपनी वो वाली डालता है ना वो कि टिंडर इन रियल लाइफ वाली, उसकी मैंने पूरी एक रिएक्शन रिकॉर्ड करी थी, लेकिन माइस कह रहा हूँ, वो वॉइस ही नहीं आई भाई माइक की। माइक और वॉइस मिला दिया मैंने, माइस बन गया, माइक की वॉइस ही नहीं आई। बहुत फनी वीडियो बनी थी भाई, लेकिन अब उसमें मेरी आवाज़ ही नहीं है, सिर्फ एलन चौधरी की वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करी थी, लेकिन माइस कह रहा हूँ, वो वॉइस ही नहीं आई भाई माइक की। अब आ रही आवाज़ मेरी यहाँ पे भाई, मुझे पता है कोई जगह तो होगा नहीं इसलिए मैं अकेले ही कर रहा हूँ जो कर रहा हूँ। ये स्ट्रीम 3 बजे तो कोई नहीं जगह होता, बट आई हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ एन इशू दीज डेज भाई। क्या हो गया है कि मैं सही टाइम पे सो जाता हूँ, मैं सो जाता हूँ अराउंड लेट्स से 9 पे मैं सो जाता हूँ, और फिर मैं 11:30 बजे उठ जाता हूँ, और 11:30 बजे उठ जाता हूँ, उसके बाद फिर मुझे नींद ही नहीं आती है। बहुत बुरी हालत हो रखी है मेरी, इसलिए मैं अपनी स्लीप साइकिल करेक्ट करने आया हूँ आज। टू स्लीप, और देखता हूँ कि मैं सो पाता हूँ कि नहीं। अभी ये मैंने ट्राई किया था, ये काम नहीं किया था। इसने कहा था यहाँ पे अपनी उंगली से दबाओ, छोड़ो, दबाओ, छोड़ो, दबाओ, छोड़ो, दबाओ, छोड़ो 3 बार, उसके बाद फिर ऐसे एक बार दबाओ, बेहोश हो जाओगे। बिल्कुल काम नहीं किया। Too little sleep versus too much sleep. What's worse? Let's see.
Too little sleep or too much sleep. I'm a psychologist and both are linked to poor mental health, but which one is worse for you? I put both to the test and I was shocked by the results. Week 1, I slept for only 6 hours each night, and week 2, I let myself have 10 hours. I tracked my sleep using my Galaxy Watch 7, and in the first week, I felt terrible. My mood was really low. But the shock for me was in the second week. Even though I felt better having more sleep, I could not seem to sleep for more than 9 hours, no matter how hard I tried. Research suggests if you're continuously oversleeping, it might be a sign of underlying health issues. But how about you? Do you tend to get too little sleep or too much sleep? I'm a
Too fucked up sleep is what I get.
Sleep is so important. We need it to live. And when we can't sleep, we're desperate for help. But lately, our fascination with sleep feels as if it's taken on an urgency. Do a quick internet search for sleep, and you'll find a slew of articles about how to make your sleep perfect. New gadgets, fancy alarm clocks, stay away from blue light. There are lots of services, products, and advice columns that tell us we're sleeping wrong. Not enough, not quality sleep, wrong position. Even worse, you might find scary messaging claiming that if you're not sleeping right, your life is going to be shorter. You're going to get all kinds of diseases. One of the biggest worries we have about our sleep is that
भाई मेरी तो लगी पड़ी है, सुबह मुझे जॉब करनी होती है, मतलब वर्क फ्रॉम होम है मेरा, तो सुबह मुझे काम करना होता है 10 बजे से लेके 7 बजे तक मुझे एटलीस्ट, तो मुझे उसी में नींद आती है भाई बहुत बुरी, और ये बहुत गंदी आदत बन गई क्योंकि उसी में कॉल आती है। आज तो मैंने छुट्टी भी ले ली थी क्योंकि मैं इतना बुरी हालत हो गई थी मेरी भाई, बहुत बुरी स्लीप साइकिल है।
we're not getting enough. And that anything less than 7 hours a night means that we're doomed to bad health.
ये 10 TEDx वाले बहुत ही लंबा एनिमेशन बना के
What are the most popular questions people come to you with as a sleep doctor?
There's
wake up at 3 a.m. do not do this. ये कहाँ पे है? ये वाला पार्ट कहाँ पे है? Waking at 3 the 4 chronological types that dictate your ideal daily schedule. मैं एक बात बताता हूँ भाई, ये chronological जो ये chronotypes होता है पूरा bullshit है, क्योंकि मैं हर टाइम जगा हूँ, हर टाइम सोया हूँ। मैं तो रात वाला ही काम करता, लेकिन नींद नहीं आती रात को। अब बताओ क्या करूँ मैं? Why waking up at 3 a.m. is a biological temperature spike. Sleep, how to choose the right bed pillow. Have a caffeine nap gives you 4 hours extra of energy. Why knowing your sleep quality changes what it means if you're most productive in the late morning. Are you getting compared with age? Hard kids are the panties can you drink sleep? Can drink alcohol and still sleep well. Here's a chronological dictates the best time to drink alcohol. While late night staying to ensure the best relaxation exercise.
I love having these conversations on the Diary of a CEO because I have a huge amount of sympathy and concern for people that don't get sufficient sleep. And I know there's a lot of people that don't. And I actually think to some degree, it's somewhat increasing because of the way we live our lives. I was looking at some of the stats around the increase. Yes. And there's a study done in 2025 and early 2026 that revealed we're in a global sleep crisis.
Oh, yes, we are.
Both the CDC and Stanford Medicine report said that 1 in 3 adults and nearly 80% of teenagers are now chronically sleep deprived.
Correct.
The 2026 survey by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine found that 93% of Gen Z admit to regularly losing sleep due to social media usage, and 71% of employed respondents globally have said that they sometimes call in sick at least once or twice due to poor sleep.
Just to sleep, yeah.
What the fuck?
When I was down in Australia doing some work down there, a lot of Australians, they take holiday and they just sleep.
Yeah.
Just to catch up. Like it's pretty remarkable. We're in a very sleep deprived society. And I think there's a couple of different reasons why that is. Number one, have you seen what's going on outside in the world today? It's pretty crazy out there.
Well,
I can understand why people are getting a little anxious.
I think one could argue it's been crazier through history, but we never knew about it.
Right. Well, I mean, the media getting us this information so quickly, I think is definitely I would agree.
मुझे भी लगता है हो सकता है ऐसा, क्योंकि Instagram पे हर समय मतलब ये तो आता ही रहता है कि क्या चल रहा है भाई दुनिया में। जैसे कि ये आता रहेगा कि राजपाल यादव को 10 करोड़ रुपए देने। अब तुम्हारी फट गई कि अरे राजपाल यादव 10 करोड़ रुपए कहाँ से देगा, वो तो जेल चला जाएगा। राजपाल यादव के लिए तुम्हें फड़वाने की अपनी जरूरत नहीं है, मतलब वो अपना मैनेज करेगा, तुम अपना देखो। अरे मोदी एप्स्टीन में आ गया, मोदी एप्स्टीन में आ गया भाई। कौन सा मोदी, कौन सी एप्स्टीन, कोई नहीं, कुछ नहीं, हम कोई मोदी एप्स्टीन फाइल्स में आ गया, ठीक है। कौन सा मोदी वो नहीं बोलेंगे हम, कोई मोदी आ गया वो एप्स्टीन फाइल्स में, ठीक है। अब हम टेंशन में आ गए कि अरे शिट भाई, ये तो गलत आदमी निकल गया। किस आदमी को हमने वो बना दिया, अपना क्या बनाया वो नहीं बोलूँगा मैं, अपना बादशाह बना दिया हमने कैसे आदमी को। लेकिन तू कुछ कर नहीं सकता उस बारे में। अगर ये डेटा रिलीज हो रहा है तो सोचो भी कितना डेटा और होगा। तो हम कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते और हम फालतू में उसके मजे ले रहे हैं या फिर टेंशन ले रहे हैं फालतू में उसके लिए, you know.
With you. It was much crazier during like World War II, and stuff like that. But now we're getting information so quickly and people are getting so ratcheted up about it. I think that has something to do with it. But I think the bigger culprit is people being overweight. When you look here in the United States and you look at the obesity epidemic and you look at people being overweight, it's something close to like 70-something% of people in America are overweight. When you're overweight, that puts you in line for potentially having something called sleep apnea. Now, I want to be clear, not everybody with sleep apnea is overweight, but a large percentage of the people with sleep apnea are bigger people. And so when you look at a society that's getting bigger and all of the unhealthy food that we've got going on, all this highly processed food, things of that nature, that isn't helping anybody. It's adding the pounds. And specifically, like for men, we gain weight through our necks. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but like if you ever were heavy and you lose weight, the first thing somebody says is, oh, it looks like you lost weight because I can tell from your face, right? And they're like, oh, your neck looks, different now. And so we see a lot of what's going on in the world from a weight perspective and a food perspective could be driving some of the sleep problems. Then there's the anxiety perspective that I spoke of earlier that I think comes in. And again, I agree with you. I don't think we have more crazy stuff going on. I think we know about more crazy stuff that's going on.
But also work is now largely digital. And I imagine for my great-grandfather, he would go to, I don't know, the factory or wherever he worked.
Yeah.
His work would finish at 6.
Yes.
Your work doesn't finish at 6 now. It finishes when you're awake.
Yeah. Absolutely. It finishes when you go to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. And that becomes problematic, right? Because a lot of times, also, by the way, you need to have dividers in your home. Like, let's say you live in a studio apartment and your bed is your couch, is your kitchen, right? You have no designated spot for sleep. Your body needs to know, hey, this is the spot where I can chill out and finally get some rest. And I think a lot of times our environments just aren't that way.
So many of us are pursuing passive forms of, your body starts heating up at 1 and 3 o'clock.
Every single person's body on earth does this. Everybody on earth wakes up between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. However, most people burp, roll over, get comfortable, and fall back asleep in 30 seconds. However, there's a select group of people who end up being my patients who don't have that, and herein lies the problem. So here are the steps you want to take in the middle of the night to be able to solve this issue. So number 1, don't go pee. I know. People are like, what? What are you talking about?
भाई क्या बात बोली है इसने सेम हो रहा है मेरे साथ अगर आप फ्यूचर में देख रहे हो कभी भी देख रहे हो ये सेम प्रॉब्लम मेरे साथ हो रही है मैंने आपको क्या बताया मैं उस टाइम अगर मैं सूसू करने नहीं जाता तो हो सकता है मैं सो सकता था लेकिन मैं सूसू करने जाता हूँ फिर मैं वापस आता हूँ मैं नींद चुद गई फिर मेरी नींद फक अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स का सोल्यूशन दोस्तों निकालना ही पड़ता है और अगर आपकी भी मैंने प्रॉब्लम का सोल्यूशन निकाला यू शुड आई थिंक मुझे आपको पैसे देने चाहिए मैंने कहाँ से 2-2.5 घंटे की वीडियो तो आप देखते नहीं कभी है ना कितने लोगों ने देखी है 1 मिलियन लोगों ने देखी है वो भी विदेशी होंगे ज़्यादातर तो मैंने कहाँ से ढूंढ के निकाला देखो कितनी मेहनत करी मैंने AI सब इस्तेमाल करके निकाला है
about, Michael. So here's what ends up happening is when people wake up in the middle of the night, they say to themselves, well, I'm up, I might as well go pee, right? Here's the problem. Remember, I told you the big metric was in order to enter into a state of unconsciousness, you need a heart rate of 60 or below, right? What do you think happens to your heart rate? You go from a lying position to a seated position to a standing position, you walk across the room. Your heart rate goes straight up. So what we want to do is keep your heart rate down. So if you don't really have to go to the bathroom, don't go to the bathroom. 75% of people sleep on their sides and they kind of squunch up, which means they're putting pressure on their bladder. So my guess is that most of those people, if all you did was when you woke up is lie and get on your back for about 25 seconds and see if you still need to pee. If you don't need to pee, stay in bed and keep your heart rate down. If you need to pee, please go pee, right? If you're going to go to the bathroom, have a strategically placed night light along the way so you don't have to flip on the light in the water closet, because if you do that, you just told your brain it's morning and it stops producing melatonin. But let's say you don't have to pee. The second thing, don't look at your phone. Now, this turns out to be very difficult for...
ये तो मुझे किताब की तरह पढ़ रहा है भाई ये आदमी यही करता हूँ मैं एग्जैक्टली यही करता हूँ मैं उठा मैं 11:30 से पहले तो बीच में 1:30 बजे हो रहा था अब 11:30 बजे होने लगा है और मुझे सूसू इतनी तेज नहीं लगी होती कि मुझे जाना पड़े बट मैं उठ के चला जाता हूँ और उठ के चला जाता हूँ उसके बाद फिर आता हूँ लेटता हूँ नींद नहीं आती है 15 मिनट ऐसे करता हूँ फिर फ़ोन खोलता हूँ फिर उसके बाद 6 hours
99% of the people out there, because the first thing they do is they grab their phone and they head to the bathroom, right? And they're either checking emails, looking at Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media they're on.
Or just trying to figure out what time it is.
And that's where the problem is as soon as you see the time, you instantly do the mental math and now you're pissed off, right? It's 3:30 in the morning. I got to get up at 6. Sleep. And you try to force your brain to sleep. Dude, in the history of time, nobody has been able to force their brain to sleep, okay? Because your heart rate's going in the wrong way, right? It needs to be coming down. So if you can, don't look at the clock. All right, so you haven't peed, you haven't looked at the clock, but you're still awake and nothing's going on. Here's where the breathing technique comes in. It's called 4-7-8 breathing. I did not develop this technique. It was developed by Dr. Andrew Wild, Harvard-trained natural doctor, super smart dude. He did it for the military to teach them how to lower their heart rate during stressful situations. We use it because it helps lower our heart rate past 60. And it's super simple. I'm going to get you to try it. So go ahead and sit up straight, okay? And so all you're going to do is breathe in for a count of 4. You're going to hold for a count of 7, and you're going to breathe out for a count of 8. And I'm going to walk you through it. I want you to have your eyes closed. And what I also want you to do, you're going to go in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then what I also want you to do is picture the number in your head. So when I say breathe in, 2, 3, 4, you should picture the 2, the 3, the 4 in your mind's eye. Okay?
With my eyes closed?
With your eyes closed. You ready?
Yep.
Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Push, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. You don't want to get through about 20 cycles of that. It's incredibly relaxing. I actually did it before I came out here to do the pod because it helps lower my heart rate and gets me centered. It's pretty remarkable. Now, there's some problems with the technique. Number 1, sometimes it's hard to hold for 7, and sometimes it's really hard to push for 8. So I tell people you can do this 4, 5, 6, 4, 6, 7, or 4, 7, 8. So just work your way up
मजा आ गया
to it, right? If it's too hard to hold your breath for 7 seconds or it's too hard to push your breath for 8, you can do a little bit less just while you're getting used to it. And then the other big thing is it's hard to figure out where the 20 cycles is because you need to get to 20 cycles of this. So what I have people do is take their hands and make light fists while they're doing this. And when they do one cycle, they put out a finger. Another cycle, put out a finger. And before you know it, you got 10. And when you bring it back, you've done 20 cycles.
It's funny, I just did 2 and I started yawning.
I know, I just saw that. I'm telling you, dude, this thing works, right? And so I have people do this technique. Here's the best part, is it avoids monkey mind, right? So what is monkey mind? Monkey mind is I'm thinking about stuff that I have no business thinking about in the middle of the night for absolutely no reason. Like what's on the grocery list, or what did I say to my spouse, or did that podcast go okay, or any of the things that might be floating through your head.
Can I become a billionaire tomorrow?
You cannot count and worry at the same time.
And why does it work? What's going on in my physiology?
You're distracting the brain from the thing that's stressing you out, and it's lowering your heart rate, and then the natural sleep process comes in after it. So all these are distraction techniques, to be clear. Now, there's several of them out there. One of the other ones I use for some of my patients is I tell them, hey, count backwards from 300 by 3s. It's mathematically so complicated, you can't think of anything else, and it's so damn boring, you're out like a light.
On that point of distractions, a lot of people go to bed listening to podcasts or movies. Jack was just saying that you know, he needs to listen to something to fall asleep. I'm the same. I listen to like serial killer stuff, which is...
That's interesting.
Don't judge me.
Wait till we get to the dreams part of the podcast. I can't wait to hear what you dream about.
I don't know. I think I always try and figure out why it is. And my sister's the same, my sister Amanda, and she listens to serial killer stuff to fall asleep. And I think it's because, this is just hypothesis, my mum would always ask me to put on Forensic Files, which is this like serial murder documentary thing.
My
when
wife
we were
loves
younger, because she couldn't use the remote. So my mum would say, she'd pass me the remote and say, put on Forensic Files. And I'd like put on the number for her.
Right.
And so that was always playing in our house at night time.
Right.
And we all had TVs in our bedroom that just mirrored what was playing downstairs.
Of course.
So when I got into bed, I'd watch Forensic Files and I'd fall asleep.
This explains a lot about you.
I know, right? When you say that to people, they think you're
So let me tell you what it's like in my house. And actually, you and I have a commonality. So in my house, we have a big screen TV. It's on all night long.
Where? In which room?
In my bedroom. Okay. When I met my wife, she said to me, Michael, if you ever happen to spend the night, I want to let you know that I sleep with the television on. I said, don't worry about that, Lauren. I'm going to be a sleep doctor. I'm going to fix that. We met when I was 30. So known her for quite a while. And you ever tried to change something in your bed partner?
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. So I took the TV out. She said, if you ever want to come back in here again, I suggest you I put the TV back in. And then I studied her to learn what was going on. And it turns out that she's listening to it out of what I call the corner of her ear. Her eyes aren't even open. And half the time it's a episode of Seinfeld or something like that. My wife actually likes murder mysteries. And so it's usually Forensic Files or something along those lines that's going on. But for her, it's a perfect distraction technique. Now, there's a second thing that's important in our bedroom that happens is we have 2 dogs. they sleep in the bed with us. I'm the freaking sleep doctor, dude. Like, it's insane. But the point here is sleep is flexible, okay? Just because it works for you doesn't mean it works for your bed partner, and vice versa is also true, right? Like, just because some people can't sleep with the TV on doesn't mean that it's gonna mess up your sleep forever to have the television on, because it's not. And by the way, 99% of TVs have timers built into them. Like, if you don't know what it is, ask your kid. I had to ask my son. He showed me how to use it, and we turned it off. It wasn't a problem, right? So creating a sleep environment that is conducive to sleep for you and your bed partner can have a lot of variation to it. And I don't think there's no hard and fast rule that says, hey, nobody should ever sleep with the TV on. I mean, there are people out there who say that, but quite frankly, everybody sleeps with the TV on.
Well, a lot of people do.
Nice, I got my answers. This was a good drill what we did today. क्या कहते हो दोस्तों? बहुत सही, मजा आ गया भाई. सागर से अंबर मिल गया मुझे आंसर्स. Watch this if you can't sleep. ये होना चाहिए इसका नाम. क्या बात है, क्या बढ़िया मैंने आंसर्स ढूंढ लिए भाई. अब मैं क्या करने जा रहा हूँ, मैं पहले वो ब्रीदिंग टेक्निक करूँगा, उसके बाद फिर मैं जाके कुछ लगा दूंगा और कुछ देखते देखते सो जाऊँगा. बेस्ट, बहुत सही. ये दीप शुक्ला हूँ भाई मैं. आई फिगर आउट शिट बाय वॉचिंग अदर पीपल फिगर इट आउट. दैट इज व्हाट वी डू. कोई देख रहा है क्या? 2 लाइक क्यों दिख रहे हैं? कौन है भाई जगा हुआ इस समय? किसी ने लाइक किया हुआ है? अच्छा, नहीं किया हुआ. मेरा ही लाइक था. ओके, बाय. एनीवन हु इज वाचिंग इन फ्यूचर, कांग्रेचुलेशंस भाई, आपको मैंने हेल्प कर दिया. चलो, गुड नाइट.